Bring me sunshine in your smile. Bring me laughter all the while. In this world where we live.
Hello, my name's Owen Lambert. I'm a sixth form student at Morecambe Community High School, and I was doing the Wise Words project with Mrs. Evelyn Archer. Such a wonderful woman. She's been looking after the Winter Gardens building, an old theatre in Morecambe on the promenade, for over 30 years. And Evelyn hopes that in the future that she will see the theatre in its full glory, with a full house of people, a full production, band, orchestras, and she'd also quite like to see a lot more young people get involved in the preservation of the theatre.
Yeah, my name's Evelyn Archer. I was born and brought up in Morecambe, lived here all my life, love the town. If anybody ever says to me about old Morecambe, I just walk on the promenade and see the lovely view across the way and think how lucky I am to live in a town like Morecambe. My mum brought me and my sister to see Cinderella, the pantomime. And we sat upstairs in the gods, and the theatre, it was beautiful. It was just all lit up, all the proscenium arch over the stage and everything was lit up. So I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And to a 7-year-old, I mean, it is a massive theatre.
Well, yeah, it would have been magical back then. Yeah.
And Cinderella, of course, was my favourite pantomime. And when the glass coach was pulled on by two shepherd ponies, that made it. That was wonderful. That is just my memory of the first time I came in. Part of my growing up was this building, and it was either in the ballroom, watching the wrestling. I was in a dancing group, so we performed in the ballroom sometimes. In fact, I went to an audition for a Carol Levis show. That was a talent contest for television, and we came second. We lost out to an accordion player. On a Sunday night, the theatre was part of a circuit, and stars went round this circuit, round the country. There was a house at 6:30 and 8:15, and we always went to the latter one. Because you thought that they performed a little bit longer because they hadn't got to get off stage ready for the next performance. I mean, we sat in the gods again. I think I only ever sat in the stalls once and had to save up to sit down there. All those young ones used to sit in the gods, and then when the performance had finished, if you were wanting the autograph of the star, you run downstairs quickly and out through the back staircase and down waiting. Sometimes the stars used to keep us waiting for an hour, waiting to get their autograph. I think the last one I ever stood waiting for was Shirley Bassey.
No!
Yeah, she performed on here, and all I can remember when she put her hands down was these great long nails, red nails. Well, it was an important building, it was an important theatre. I mean, lots and lots of stars have performed here. I mean, but George Formby, I remember seeing George Formby, yeah, she's got a character, Alma Cogan. She was a singer. The only time Eric Nerney played in Morecambe at the Winter Gardens, and she topped the bill for the summer season.
Wow.
And they were way down on the bill.
Goodness me.
So yeah,
wow.
So Alma was quite a lady, and of course they all stopped at the Midland Hotel across the road.
Of course, yeah.
Adam Faith, the Beatles, Cliff Richards, Tom Jones, Tessie O'Shea, oh my goodness. But David Whitfield came really quite often, she did, yeah. Tommy Steele, he was fantastic. And my favourite was Emile Ford. He was a wonderful singer, and the girls used to go mad because he was such an handsome guy. And so we sat upstairs to watch him, and I said to my friend, next time he comes, I'm going to say, look, I'm going to sit up front row. And anyway, so I did, and when he came, he said, I brought my friend with me tonight, he's going to help me to come in to sing with me. And this guy came running back in the stalls, and he had his chocolate brown suit on, and it was Kenny Lynch just starting off his career.
Really?
Yeah, and the two of them nearly brought the roof off that night because all the girls were screaming for him, you know. So he was my favourite. I used to go every Thursday with my sister, as I said, because I was really keen on watching the wrestling. And we used to sit on the front row, and my brother-in-law, during the interval, went to the gents, and when he came back, he said, I think we might as well go now, because I know who's going to win the next match. And I said, no, you don't. He said, yes, I do, because they're discussing it in the toilet. It opened up in time for Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee, and if you look in the foyer, just as you walk into the front door, you'll see in mosaic Victoria Pavilion, because that's what it was called, Victoria Pavilion. Unfortunately, the gentleman who laid the mosaic put 2 L's in Pavilion. And when they demolished the ballroom, it was more important that we saved this building from demolition.
Well, definitely, yes.
There was a little action group that got it listed to a grade 2. Somebody needs to look after that building, so we decided to form the Friends, and that was in March 1986. It's 30 years next year.
Really?
Yeah, because we've been a pressure group. We've basically not been in the building that long.
You can just about discern under the tawdry ravages of time that the Winter Gardens was once one of the great seaside palaces of entertainment.
I say. Did you hear the one about the 97-year-old theatrical star? What out to make a comeback? You don't wish to know that? Oh, yes, you do, Mrs.
Because it's true. After 16 years of closure and neglect, the Winter Gardens is set for restoration.
Coming to the pantomimes at Christmas, so exciting coming into such a lovely theatre. The yearly musical festival when all the schools used to collect together in the theatre, singing on the stage. Wonderful.
Great stars here?
Yes. Sunday night concerts, see Shirley Bassey, David Whitfield.
And in 1997 they found a trust to take on the building, and they found 1.2 million to spend on it. So it got all the front done, and they put a new roof on. And they did a lot of work internally as well. And then in 2003, well, just before that, it was sold off to the construction company that did the work on the exterior.
Right.
And they sort of sat on it for a while. So I went along to see him one day and asked him what he was doing with it. We were sat at a desk like this, and he slid the keys across to me and said, go away and see what you can do with it.
Oh, wasn't that great?
So we started opening up the building just to see if the public really wanted it. You know, I mean, without public support, it was just going to be a waste of time.
Yeah, definitely. But
I went back to see Mr. Webber, and I said, couldn't we buy the building? And he said, yes, for $250,000. And the following year, one Sunday afternoon, I got a telephone call from a lady from Germany, and she said, I'm sat looking at your website. And she said, I'm a Morecambe lady. She said, I was born and brought up in Morecambe. But she said, I married a German because I met him when I was in the Ivy Benson all-ladies band. And she told me that afternoon that she'd been diagnosed with cancer and she was terminally ill. And so somebody rang me up, a relative, and said, are you aware of how much she's going to leave you? And I said, no. And he said, well, it's over £100,000.
goodness me, wow.
So the Friends decided to pay for the petrol for me and my husband to drive over to Germany. And we went to see her. She was absolutely thrilled to bits we'd taken the trouble. And so she left us. It turned out to be £140,000. We need more younger people.
Well, definitely.
We need younger ideas. We want some funding there's a second bar on the other side of the theatre.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we want to put that back to its original Victorian, which is why the idea of contacting local people for photographs and memories
is where you're going to get the ideas and designs. Yes, right.
And the other one is to do the foyer and turn the foyer back into, so that when you walk into this theatre, you will see 2 big chandeliers. You'll see all the foyer done up in its original. It must have been magnificent. Thora heard, she left us £10,000. What she said to us was, if you're trying to save the building, get the young ones in, get the children back into using these theatres.
Well, definitely. I'm part of an A-level drama group.
Oh yeah?
So I'm pretty sure all my friends would love to come and help out. It would be amazing to perform, because I do little shows, like ones at school and outside of school, but to perform on such a grand stage in my hometown would just be amazing.
I'd like to see the theatre full.
Full house. Most nights.
I would like people to do what I did and want to come to the Winter Gardens, you know, and think I'm going to a night at the Winter Gardens, how wonderful that would be. I love it, and I just hope that I've made a contribution to help reopen it again. That's just what I hope.